man, and welcome back to another episode of the world famous Nando Thoughts Podcast. Brought to you by the one and only My Chick and My Kids. And tonight's drink is sponsored by Proper 12, my homeboy over in Ireland, Conor McGregor. What's up, blood? How you doing? Thanks so much, guys, for checking me out and coming in to the podcast tonight. I know I've been missing. I've been off the scene for a minute. And a lot's been happening in the world. Last time I done a podcast had to be about January, and of course they took that podcast down. They was like, "Nope, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna play no music in this podcast." So I'm still working on a workaround for that. I might end up just doing a live radio show instead of the podcast because I like to play music when I do my podcast. And when I play my music in the podcast now, I got a little bit of fat under my neck, but it's whatever. I just been eating and chilling. But anyway, I ain't tripping. But when I usually do my podcast, I do it. I just be real chill about it, real chill about it, doing my thing, laying back, and not even tripping about nothing. The music tends to bounce it really well, and that's just how I came up doing shows. We had some music in the background, and yeah, man. So you get a playlist and you get to hear what's up. But with all these, copyrights and publishing rights and all the other rights and whatever the case is. I think that artists are missing out on being exposed to new audiences by having so many restrictions on their content, by not letting their podcasters play it, because the more podcasters have access to these libraries, chances are the more exposure to people that probably hear their music or their art that probably usually wouldn't have a chance to hear it. And they're saying, well, we want to get paid for it. Okay, I understand that. So, I mean, you got these two things. They got to balance themselves out until the politics works itself out. People like me going to be restricted in playing certain music on the podcast. So until that happens, I got to do what I do. Man, it's been a crazy few months. I got to tell you, I've been kind of incognito, doing my thing, laying low, keeping my head low, just watching the world go around like everybody else, man, and just holding my breath. Because last time I checked in, man, it was early January, actually late January, January 22nd to be exact, and I did a show, and we talked about what was happening in the world back then. I didn't cover too much politics at the time because everybody was just coming out of the holidays. There was a lot going on. People were still trying to figure out if they was going to step outside or go back to the office. There was a lot of that happening right now. I happened to take a first vacation in the last few years. I actually got a chance to step away with my kids and, hang out for a spring break week, and that was cool. That was real cool, man, because I can't remember one time in my life that I ever was able to just stop everything. I mean, literally stop everything. And that was relaxing to me. So I enjoyed that. I actually stopped everything. I'm talking about phones, boom, boom, boom. Everything was shut down. And I just chilled, I kind of took care of the business I had to take care of. And I kind of said I'm going to focus on, these moments with my kids because they're getting older. They're not going to be young forever. My daughter, 14. My son be 18 this year. And those baby years are gone. This is my last time around having babies, and I want to enjoy every minute of it, every moment of it. Every time they ask me to do something, if I'm able and capable, and if I don't have anything that's really, jumping on my schedule, I make the time to have it happen and just make that memory with them, because when it's all done and said, eventually they're going to be grown and have their own lives and doing their own things, and you know how it goes. They going about their way. So while I can, I'm going to enjoy them as much as I can. And, try to teach them as much as I can. And we talk about a lot of stuff, I noticed that now more than ever, our kids understand what's going on in the world because it's so in your face, from the war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, and just politics, period. I mean, Republicans, Democrats, it's all in their schools, it's everywhere. And so when you talk to your kids, you don't necessarily want to indoctrinate them into any way of thinking. Your opinion is your opinion because you grew up different than they grew up, but you want to give them the tools so they can actually navigate the world they have to live in right now. And it's ultra exposed for them right now, even more so than ever. These kids right now that's going to school have more politics and issues to deal with, not just among the peers, but on an adult level of how they treated by the adults. And because the politics is following them into the schools. From, I'll give you an example. My kid wear masks still. And the schools they go to is like, you don't have to wear a mask, no need for masks, everything is cool. And I'm like, look, I don't give a damn what those people say at that school. You keep that mask on, period. Keep it on. We're not sure what's going on out here, I mean, you got Fauci saying one thing, Fauci saying one thing, Fauci saying another thing. He's kind of like all over the place with it because he don't want to be caught in one spot no more. So he's not even, really, giving us science anymore. He's giving us his opinion. And it becomes a problem when it get that way. A lot of these government workers, they get themselves in these situations. They get these jobs where they have to, be a part of a political system, not necessarily be political, but sometimes their message has to be political. And it takes away from them doing their job as the professionals that they're hired to be. It becomes political for them. Not that they want to be political. I think that at the same time, it could be a problem. Now, if you ask me if Fauci or Fushi, whatever the hell his name is, if he liked Donald Trump, it's hell to the no. He did not like Donald Trump. He couldn't stand that dude. I knew he didn't like Donald Trump. I mean, I told you 2 years ago, a year ago, when I seen Donald Trump, Fauci, and the other dude, at the press conference, I knew the shit was serious then. I said, here we are with the dumbest man in the world, with the two smartest men in the world. This is a fucking problem because these guys don't hang out. It's a problem. This shit is serious. And ever since that day, I seen them. I still remember seeing, those three. And the weirdest thing about it was the dumbest man in the world was talking. It was a goddamn problem. It was a problem because when you look at those guys' face standing behind that president, at the time our president, Donald Trump, they look scared as hell. They look like, holy shit, something's going on. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even you could just look past Donald Trump because at that point, nobody gave a fuck what Donald Trump said. We all knew he was full of shit. But the point of them being there, you knew it was a serious situation. Because first of all, I've never even heard of Dr. Fauci before that. But when they said his name and said his title and what he do and what all the stuff that he does, I said, hold up. This shit is serious. Yeah, I just spit that verb, what he does. Anyway, this shit is serious. I knew it was serious. And I told myself, I said, you don't put these three together in a room ever unless there's a serious situation going down. And sure enough, there was a serious situation going down. So we have to figure out now, how do we live and get through it? Because we knew we didn't have no leadership. Everybody knew that. The Republicans knew it. The Democrats knew it. They knew we was fucked. We was fucked up. Because while everybody was running around talking about, fake news and fake campaigns and fake this shit, nobody was staying focused on the fact that this shit was coming. This shit was coming before the election happened. This shit was rolling through. It was coming. This shit was coming. And unfortunately for us, we cut back so much in our government, from critical infrastructure to scientists and things of that nature years ago. Not just saying this is a Donald Trump problem, but it was happening because of budget cuts, sequesters, all this bullshit was happening. And these critical departments from, infectious disease, whatever, they was cut back. So they didn't have staff. They didn't have people that really doing like the disease weather update, like what's out there, it's coming our way. They didn't have people doing that shit. So when Trump got in there, his people were so just stroked out from being, maybe the budget cuts or whatever. And he was dumped into that situation. But it even came before that, because during Obama time, he really didn't have a full blown Ebola team at the time. But these cuts happened way before both of these presidents. So, it's not saying it's not their fault, but it is their fault at the same time. Because at the time that you're in charge, you're responsible for whatever happened. It is what it is. There's no excuses. But the fact remains that they didn't have all the tools they needed, because the tools were stripped out long before they came along. Both of these presidents, President Obama and President Trump. But the response we got from President Trump wasn't the best. And so here we are, the politics is out of control. It's super partisan. However you look at it, it's all over the place, and it's rolling into our schools. So get back to the point I was trying to make about the kids and how they are being exposed to these politics. It's playing a weird dynamic on how they communicate with their peers. And there's a clear sign of mental illness going around with some of these kids because there's a lot of undiagnosed or diagnosed examples of how these kids are dealing with their stress. Some of these kids are running away from home because they finally get to go back out. Some of these kids are super sexualized right now and at a very, very younger age than normal, and it's a lot of this playing into this is because of what's going on in the world right now. Years ago, we had a lot of time to spend with our kids. We had a lot of time to talk to our kids, a lot of time to explain shit to our kids. But with the way the world is moving so fast right now, they kind of learning on their own. They're learning through a TikTok. They're learning through Instagram. They're learning through Twitter. They're learning through, all the other shit, Facebook, blah, 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 whatever the fuck it is. They're learning through their phones, but they're not really grabbing anything out inside the house. And so when you see some of these kids go out in the world or try to function or interact, they just can't handle it. It's too much for them, But get back to talking to my daughter. 14-year-old, she's right at the pulse of that teen life. And some of the stories she tell me are pretty amazing because a lot of kids share things that's what's happening with their family in their homes. And she tell me some of the stories and I try to make sense out of some of the stuff, but some of the shit I can't make sense out of. I give you an example. One of her friends' fathers lost his job. And that's pretty hard for her to understand that he lost his job and now he's doing DoorDash. And she kind of feel bad for her girlfriend that she's cool with because it's kind of like an embarrassment thing. It's like a stigma. And I said, listen, baby, however you got to get that check, you got to get that check because he got to take care of his family. So there's no shame in making no money, however you do it. You can't, everybody can't be the doctor. Everybody can't be the pilot. Everybody can't be this or that. Somebody got to do that too because somebody got to eat. So that's a job. As long as he can take care of his family and they get him to the next job, then, hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. There's no guarantees. Spots in life. You just work to get where you are and get there and keep it and make it the best you can, and that's who you become. But she kind of felt bad for him though. She was like, Dad, he ain't got no job, blah blah blah. Just get into it. And I told her, I said, look, baby, let me tell you something. A job is just that, a job. There's a beginning and an end to everything, even our lives. Just know that. So don't get hooked up on anything. Enjoy it all while it lasts and keep it pushing. You only get one trip around the track, so run as fast as you can and just have fun. It is what it is. And you got to kind of simplify things for them, but not make it too deep because they're worried about a lot of stuff. And you got to let them know, baby, it's nothing you can worry about. You can't worry your problems away. You got to do shit about them. You got to get up and move. You got to make something happen. I'm sure her father's going to find a job. He's going to figure it out. But until he do, he got what he can get to keep it moving. And that's what fathers do. That's what mothers do. That's what parents do. We just keep it moving. So that's one of the incidents, and one of the instances rather. And then she talked about, some of the other things that's going on with the young girls, as far as, she's at that age where young girls like to date older men, really men, no joke, not no older teenagers, but older men. And I explained that to her about how, that's a thing. And why that's a problem and why you shouldn't be finding that as something that's cool to you. But the one thing I'm fortunate of is that I have a good relationship with my daughter and we talk about everything. And she understands that, it's not only you're going to be disappointing me if you do something that I hope you don't do this wrong or bring shame to our family, but you're also going to be letting yourself down because you're going to be the one with the effects and the consequences of the bad choices if you make any. And you have to understand that this is the time right now to put the fuel in your pack to push you through life. So focus on your school. Do the things you got to do and study hard. And every time you take a test, you want an A. There's no plan B. You want an A. You want to get an A. So she's AB honor roll, been AB honor roll for the last 5-6 years. And I'm proud of her. She's in a very, very competitive school district. And a lot of the kids come out of that district, probably about 80%, 90% rate of kids entering into university. So I'm so proud of her for keeping up and excelling in her education, as well as my son. He's just a genius. He's like amazing. I really do believe he's going to be an architect or engineer or some kind of, person working with numbers, and I'm looking forward to watching him continue to develop in his education. So it's been cool. The last few months been cool. Nothing been going on crazy. I ain't got nothing to say crazy about what's been going on other than me just really connecting with my kids, spending time with them, and trying to comfort them and help them understand what's going on in their communities when they talk about the drama they're going through, and just trying to make sense out of it and help them, have a place to come and talk, because even we still got to keep moving in our lives and take care of our families and do the things we got to do. We also got to make sure that they healthy. We got to check on their mental health. We got to have conversations with them that they want to have. And we got to listen more than anything else. We got to listen, because the way they explain things lets you know how they feel and what concerns they truly have. And we got to learn how to respect our young people. A lot of people don't do that. It's one thing to tell your kids something. It's another thing to teach your kids something. And sometimes your kid can teach you as well. So you got to be open for that communication, and it got to be a positive communication. And you got to also take criticism as an adult from your children, because sometimes you might be wrong on your approach, and they can help you understand the situation as it is today, because it's not the same as you was growing up. So with that being said, it's been an interesting time for me. And I share that with you guys because I know there's a lot of people out here right now that's, reconnecting to the other part of their lives pre-quarantine, going back to work, whatever, but you're still trying to keep your family safe. You're still trying to let them know, hey, keep your mask on, baby. Keep your mask on, honey. Keep your mask on, whoever you love, and letting them know that, hey, we're going to maintain our safety and our health by practicing, these safe, procedures, in spite of what anybody think. I'll give you a story. I'm in Daytona Beach. I'm with my kids. We had a t-shirt shop in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I'm walking into this t-shirt shop with my kids. We all got our masks on. And I had told my kids before we went on this trip, I said, listen, we're heading to Florida. People are going to tell us we don't need a mask. We are right now mentally preparing to be able to enjoy Florida on our terms, not on nobody else's terms. We're getting ready to go into this weird world where politics is super partisan, it's all over the place, and people are being judged for whatever reason, but we're not going to fall into that. We're just going to do what we do, keep the energy moving, and let's just rock out. And if somebody come at us some kind of way, we're going to just look at them and be like, listen, it's not for you, it's for me, it's for me, it's for you, whatever. We're going to just get out of the situation, keep moving. Not really be challenging to nobody and make nobody feel like they got to be threatened or they have to, prove a point to us, because we're not here for that. We're just here to have a good time. So we're walking into this t-shirt shop, and I got my kids, me, my son, my daughter, we walking into this t-shirt shop. And as we heading towards the door, a lady's coming out the door. And she was like, you guys don't need no mask. It's okay. Hey, sir, your kids don't need that mask. They're fine here in Florida. We don't wear masks in Florida. And we didn't say a word. We just walked right into the t-shirt shop. The lady's still sitting there, and she's going through it. She's swearing up and down. I thought the lady's gonna snatch the mask off her face. I really did. I was like, lady, if you touch me, your shit gonna be bad. just keep it moving. Just I understand what you're saying, but just keep it moving. We good. Anyway, we get in the t-shirt shop. Now the people in the shop are looking at us like we're weird because we got a mask on. And I was going to walk out the shop and not buy a shirt from them because I felt some kind of way about maybe we don't line up ideologically, how we think. I know I just butchered that word, but how we think, we don't line up. But I said, no, I'm going to support this small business, this local business, this tourist industry business. That's what I'm in town for. I'm not going to get caught up in my feelings. I'm just buying a shirt. I don't give a damn who sell me the shirt. I don't care how they feel about what they feel about. If this was a Ku Klux Klan t-shirt shop right now, I was not going to make that an issue for me, because that's not my problem. That's their problem if they have a problem with me, not me. So I went on here, made a purchase. But as I was walking through that store, I had to tell myself that that was going to be the plan, because I felt like just walking out. I really did. I felt like walking out, but I knew that there was so many other situations connected to that shirt becoming on that shelf. There was a truck driver. There was this, there was that, there was this. It was a lot of people that made that shirt appear on that shelf. And those people need their jobs. And they need people like me that's out on vacation to buy those products to keep the economy moving. So with that being said, I just made the consumer decision to buy it and kept it moving. Get in my car. And my shirt is one of them, like a dad shirt, you know, all this, the fish on it and all that. My kids got some cool shit, but I got like the big fish and some corny shit. So anyway, I tell my son, I said, yeah, every time I put this shirt on, you're gonna remember. He said, man, he said, Dad, every time you put that shirt on, bro, I'm gonna die laughing. So the shirt is going to bring those memories and always remind us of that trip and always remind us of these times that we're living in right now. So sometimes, you know, you could take those situations and make the best of them. So that's what we did. And I don't know if you ever been to Daytona Beach, but if you haven't been to Daytona Beach, don't go. It is the trashiest beach I ever been to. I mean, they literally park cars on the beach. I'm not even joking. They literally park cars on the beach. Everything down there smell like piss. It's awful. It is awful. I mean, just don't go. Don't take your family. It is like a bar. It's horrible. I mean, some people like it. Some people like Daytona Beach. Me personally, I think it's trash. I would never go back again. I thought it was going to be beautiful. I thought it was going to be something else. But, man, let me tell you something. We got them T-shirts and got the hell out of Daytona Beach. We went other places. We did not stay in Daytona Beach. That's a fact. Well, we didn't even go to Daytona Beach. We drove there from where we were staying. And it was, you know, about an hour and a half away. But we wanted to see Daytona Beach. Man, is it you or is it me? Do you think about the fact that Joe Biden right now has not, to this day, committed to erasing student debt? What is taking him so long? What is the problem? Why won't he erase this student debt? I don't understand it. He promised people he was going to do it. He campaigned about it, but he won't do it for some reason. Now I'm trying to figure out what's the problem here. Because it's clear and simple. You can erase that debt. You're giving hundreds of millions of dollars right now, hundreds of millions of dollars to Ukraine to support them in their efforts against Russia. And then in the same breath, you're telling the American people, hey, America, we don't have no more money for COVID. What do you mean you don't have no more money for COVID? You have people still suffering from COVID. You have people still right now today need to get a COVID shot. You have people right now today have long-term COVID. Where are your COVID people at? Where's the updates for COVID? COVID or whatever. Where they at? I don't see them. I don't hear them. Dr. Fauci, he coming out saying it's a pandemic. It's not a pandemic. Oh, I take it back. We're still in the pandemic. I understand with Dr. Fauci. He's just so tired of this shit. He just want to retire and get out of here, man, because he didn't want all this politics. He just wanted to be the smartest scientist in the room and tell everybody about this and the chromosomes and this and that. And then he got sucked into this Donald Trump bullshit, and that became a big fucking Donald Trump cartoon. He was a character in that shit. And now he's in Joe Biden shit, and it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, people ask me, how you feel about this, about that. I think both parties are trash, man. I told you, I'm an independent. I think they both trash. I've been independent for the last 35 years. I think they both trash, and I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in everything I see from these party leaders. And, you got caught. You got one Republican leader just got caught talking shit about Donald Trump right after the attempted coup or insurrection or whatever the fuck it was. And now he's coming back and saying, I didn't say that. Then the fucking video came out of him saying it, or tape or whatever came out. Clearly he said the shit he said he didn't say. And it's like people are all over the place. They lie to us in a fucking heartbeat. The politicians don't give a fuck about lying to us. They don't have no problem at all just looking us right into the fucking camera and saying, listen, I did not do that. You got Herschel Walker walking around talking about he want to be the senator of Georgia. He don't even know what the fuck he talking about. That man talking about he finished college, but he didn't even finish college. That man talking all this goofy shit about he got some mist that make the virus go. This guy sound like he on Saturday Night Live. It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening to our politics right now. And you can't even get mad at anybody but ourselves because we vote for these stupid people. We vote for these stupid people. We don't vote for the serious practitioner. We vote for these dumb bozos. And then we sit up there and you expect them to give us some policy that's going to make our communities better or bring us more secure confidence in our democracy. Are you kidding me? Dr. Oz for Pennsylvania for Senate? Are you crazy? Come on, guys. And it's no better on the Democrat side. It really is not. It's no better on the Democrat side. They all over the place. They don't have one message. You know, they want to do a whole bunch of things, but they don't want to do nothing at the same time. Then you got, you know, Joe Manchin over here. He's just trying to vouch for his little coal guys because these guys don't want to go to school and learn no new technologies. They still want to knock a fucking rock out of a mountain and burn it. Some old shit instead of... I mean, it's the craziest shit. It's like we're living in a weird... I mean, how do we get so fucking backed up and backwards like this? I mean, we're the smartest country in the world. The most productive country in the world. What happened to our people? What happened? It just don't even make sense. It don't make sense at all. Now you got people all over the country just shooting the fuck out of each other with these guns. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, I mean... I feel like this midterm election is going to be a mess. I am so tired of politics. I am burnt the fuck out because this is not even politics. This is bullshit ticks. This is not politics. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. There's nothing getting done. We've been wasting so much money on this fucking Congress and this Senate and this Washington bullshit. There's nothing's getting done. They just jerking our fucking tax dollars all over the place. And it's a waste. It's a waste of time. I think we should shut the whole fucking city down. Send them all back home. They can do a virtual vote. They don't even have to, they don't want to get along. They don't have to be along. They can go back to where the fuck they came from and run their office of Congress from there, you know, and just have the leaders in D.C. You don't need all those people in D.C. Just have the leaders in D.C. If these people can't get along, let them stay back in their districts and vote from there. They can vote, you know, on the camera. They want to speak. They can speak virtual. They don't have to be there. Be in your district acting like that. Let the people at home see how the fuck you act every day and what you actually fucking do. Don't hide in D.C. and don't do shit, but just pop on TV every now and then acting like you're taking care of your community. No, stay in your community and work for your people that voted for you. You don't need to be in D.C. trying to be all bougie and fly and all cool. And then half these people come to D.C., you know, they show up in D.C. and make $155,000, $160,000 a year. You know, Congress is a 2-year term. The Senate is a 6-year term. But the average congressman, when they leave Congress, they're millionaires. You know why they're millionaires? Because they do inside trading. They do inside trading. Shit that's illegal, that they won't vote against them not being able to do. They can vote for everything else. But when it comes to them to be transparent about how they're getting this information and how they're doing what they're doing, they refuse to put that on the ballot and vote against that because it's benefiting them. Of course they won't vote for it. Are you fucking crazy? That's their bread and butter. So if you're voting for these people and you sending them to D.C., once they get to D.C. and they learn the game, it's a wrap. You could forget that person. You probably never even see that person again unless they come home for their little breaks and something. Half of them come home and just don't even show up in their districts. They don't even talk to their constituents until they want some votes again. Until it's time right now to send them some money or whatever. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you because they're not sitting in D.C. meeting you. They meeting these corporations. They meeting these multi-billion corporations that's giving them all this fucking campaign money. That's what they're doing. They're going to lunch, dinner, and breakfast with them. They playing golf all fucking day long. They hanging out with them in exotic locations and shit, you know, and they ain't got nothing to do with you. They ain't taking care of none of your business. And when you show up in D.C., you know what they're going to do? They're going to put a staffer on you. So here's a staffer. He's going to show you around of D.C. and kick you and your ass out the door because you ain't got no check in your hand. That's what it is. I'm telling you, people. You better know what it is. That's what it is. But enough of the politics. Last thing I'm going to hit on politics is something that was kind of crazy I seen just yesterday. I thought it was kind of embarrassing myself, but I'll tell you what it was. Proper 12, oh well. So Joe Biden do a press conference yesterday, and he come out there and said, America, I'm going to do a program. I'm going to fund it with $145 million or some odd number, but it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars, not more than 200, less than 150. 145. Let's call it 145 million. Let's call it 150 million. I don't know the exact number. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Joe Biden had the press conference that he's going to fund this program for the reentry of incarcerated people into society. And that program is going to be funded by this bulk of money, 145 million or 150 million, whatever that number is. And that money's going to be used to repatriate incarcerated people into society. So it's either fund jobs, fund training, fund maybe housing, whatever it was going to fund. It's going to give them money to get themselves back together. And I think that's so ingenuine of Joe Biden to have that press conference and put that out there, because I think he's pandering to the black, brown, and poor community. And I think that that's his way of showing up his votes in certain communities by pandering to them. You know, Joe Biden is the president of America. He's not the president of the poor people. He's not the president of the rich people. He's the president of the United States of America. And anytime he sliced this country in half and say, I'm doing for this one group, but not this group, it's a disservice to America as a whole. Now, I understand why you're doing what you're doing, Mr. Joe Biden, Mr. President. I understand why you want to give $145 million to maybe 2 million of your victims of your crime bill. It makes sense that you want to help out and undo the damage you caused with your crime bill. But let me tell you something. $145 million is a slap in a fucking face. $145 million is one piss drop on the fire you started back in the 90s with Bill Clinton when you signed that goddamn crime bill. $145 million. God damn it, I'm getting mad. It burns me up, because think about what I'm getting ready to say here. $145 million to start a program to help people repatriate back into their communities after they've been incarcerated for however in this injustice system. And he want us to believe that's a solution to fix the problem that he fucking created. And all these corporations made billions off the suffering of our community. And he think $145 million motherfucking dollars is going to make something better? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? $145 million would have sent all those motherfuckers sitting in jail to college, not prison. But no, you and your boys had a master plan to gentrify these communities, steal these properties, gain wealth from communities they didn't give a fuck about. And now here we are. Man, shame on you. Shame on you. I'd rather you do nothing than to do what you're doing. It's one thing to fuck a man going in. There's another thing to fuck him coming out too. And that's what you're doing. You're playing games. You're playing fucking games. You and your little bojangle ass black members of Congress is running around here trying to make people think that you're doing great for our community, because $145 million ain't shit. If you really want to do something, you put a couple of $1 billion out there, some real money, and put these families back whole that you broke apart with your crime bill. If you really want to do something, you tell every Native American kid in this country that if you graduate with an A/B honor roll, you're guaranteed to go to college on the U.S. government, because we owe you that. If you really want to do something. But you're full of shit. You're full of shit. And that's all our politicians. They're full of shit. We know they're full of shit. So Elon Musk brought Twitter. Now, I've been kind of just poking Elon Musk, just talking shit with him and talking shit to him. I don't know the guy. I never met the guy. I think he's a idiot myself. I understand a lot of the money he got, and a lot of the money he have is from government programs. I understand that a lot of the investment money he have is from government programs. And, I think that Elon Musk is a corporate pirate, just like a lot of these big billionaire corporate guys out here, and they try to play the culture spin and make people think they're cool or whatever. So, you seen his goofy ass smoking weed one time on Joe Rogan podcast, and now he's hanging out on Twitter. He's buying Twitter, and he got these little crappy cars just running around that ain't worth shit. The only reason that people are buying them is because he didn't have GM and all the other companies that had finance tied into politics. He wasn't part of that. He had all private investments. So he got to put this shitty ass cars out. Not that his cars was better than the other cars that was before his, because they wasn't. You had better cars before his that was on the street. They just didn't go up against the oil companies the way he did. And so his car made it to the bank. But his car is not going to be the car. You got so many cars. You got China got a lot of cars. You got a lot of cars coming online right now. Now that you got these big 3 automakers coming on board, they're going to take a huge chunk of the market from him because the infrastructure wasn't there for a fleet of cars like it's starting to become online. So the more infrastructure you get in place, the more readily available these vehicles will be able to perform, and that's how you're going to have the, EV fleet multiplying by the hundreds of thousands. But I think as a lot of this stuff that he gets through and he do is because of not so much him being so smart. I think it's just a lot of people understand that we need to move the needle. And so with him being in front and able to generate that money, it helps him move the needle. There's a lot of people that had these ideas before that was doing this work already. And I'm glad he's doing it because a lot of people seem to want these services. But for him to spend $46 or $44 billion on a chat platform, it's almost retarded. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? It's not that many people on Twitter anymore. And then you got to understand something, people. Listen, this is the kicker. You could spend $45 million on Twitter all you want. If Google and Apple take your shit out the store, how was anybody going to use your platform? So if Google don't fuck with you and Apple don't fuck with you, now what is that $45 million investment going to be worth? $0. So all the people that gave him this money lost their fucking mind. Because now they're dependent on Apple and Google not getting pissed off at him. And how can Apple and Google break his back right now? Apple is making electronic cars right now. Google is getting in the game too. If they want to hurt this man, $45 billion investment, they can just kick his shit out the app stores right now overnight and he'll be fucked. Fucked. Come on now. It was not a good investment. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It just wasn't a good investment. And I think it's going to happen. I think Apple and Google can break him. And a lot of them want to break him because they want that spot. So let's see what happens. Don't say you didn't hear it. Don't say you didn't hear it because it's a possibility. I don't think he thought that far. He's talking about free speech. Apple and Google is not going to let him go fucking crazy on that app and be responsible for it because it's coming from their stores. They hosting that app in their stores. Unless he built his own store. But how he going to put it on those platforms? There's only 2 platforms of phones, Apple and Google. Come on, man. That's a horrible investment. Are you fucking crazy? And anybody that jumped in that rabbit hole with him, they're going to be fucking jumping out the window. They're not going to get their money back. They're just not. It's too easy to create something else now. And then the people that create this industry and the people that control the industry, they're not Republicans. They're Democrats. They're not going to let this man win with technology. Are you fucking crazy? They're not going to let him do it. It's a bad investment all the way around. There's nothing he can do with Twitter that's going to make him get his money back. Not a damn thing. So he better pull out, pay the $1 billion and walk away while he can. And that's my free Elon Musk advice. Pay $1 billion, walk away, because now you realize that you just swallowed the dick. Move on. Hey guys, man, thanks for checking out my podcast, man. Nando Thoughts Podcast coming at you live from sunny San Diego. I ain't been home in a minute, man. I've been pushing, man. I've been East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. I've been all over the place, man. But I'm back home, sunny San Diego, and it's kind of cold right now, man. It's kind of chilly to me. I feel kind of chilly. Maybe it's just the wind, but I think I'm just been under the weather also for a minute. Oh man, I hope you guys enjoy my podcast, man. I hope you guys like my commentary. And I'm kind of chill tonight, man. Like I said, I got this Proper 12, Conor McGregor. It ain't that much in it, though. Look, at least see the bottle. Look, I done popped that Proper 12 down, boy. I popped it. I've been banging it out, man. I'm serious. I like it. I tell you what, if you never had Proper 12 Irish whiskey, it's really smooth. It's not as bitter as a lot of other whiskeys. It's really smooth. It's easy going down. There's a light buzz to it. It's not too strong. It's just a really good whiskey. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's not really expensive, so it's not considered a high-end whiskey. Excuse me, but it's a smooth whiskey. It's a nice little sipping whiskey, and I usually chase it with a Pepsi or say maybe a Coke or something. But lately I've been drinking cold water. I love something about cold water. Tastes really good. I don't know what is it about it, but I've been drinking a ton of cold water lately, and I don't know. I just don't know how I got to that point where I'm just really into cold water, but cold water has been doing it for me. I tell you now, cold water. I gotta give cold water all the love in the world because they just been my favorite water lately. I mean, especially when it's ice cold. Oh, I love cold water. That little blue top. And I don't drink a lot of water, but I've been drinking a lot of water lately. That's why my head looks like a big fucking jug. Oh shit! Oh shit! Let me stop. Uh, think about the water. Oh man. Hey guys, let me ask you a question, man, real quick, and you can respond, in the box or whatever the case is. But over the last year, how many of you guys either quit a job, took a new job, or just maybe took two jobs? Because a lot of people are trying to make up for lost time. A lot of people are deciding, hey, I don't want to work for the company no more. How many of you guys have quit a job, took a new job, or took on additional jobs within the last year? I asked that question because I'm talking to a lot of people I haven't been in touch with since COVID, and I'm finding people are in different positions now, different states. They live in different places now. I'm inviting people, hey, I'm in your town, let's hang out. They're like, I don't live there no more. I'm in Hawaii, or I'm in Israel. I'm here. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's weird because we're still dealing with the fallout of COVID as far as the real life effects of what went down. And a lot of people relocated because COVID gave them that opportunity to do that. And I think it's a beautiful thing that when you go through something like COVID and you get to push off and just go do something else. I think it's a cool setup, and it makes it interesting when you talk to the people and find out. I got friends that's living in Amsterdam. I got a few friends living in Australia. One of my friends living in Guam right now. Never been to Guam, and I talked to this guy. He was like, "No, I just want to go to Guam. I want to live there. I want to surf every afternoon after work, and I just want to, live somewhere where I can actually live a life of being on vacation instead of always having to take a vacation, so I could relax myself in between my work days." And I said, "Then there you go, bro. You enjoy yourself, man. I'm not coming to Guam to see you, but when you back on this end, let's link up. That's what it is, and I wish you the best." But I just think it's interesting how people decided to either leave, relocate, or whatever the case it is. They just decided, hey, I'm gonna just get out. I'm gonna just go, and more power to you if that's what you're doing. But then I got some friends that got new jobs. I got friends that moved up in positions, and high-ranking positions at that, And I think it's interesting because when I meet these people, when I first met them, or whatever the case is in life, and everybody, have progress systems or whatever. And now here we are. I got a friend in a really high-ranking position, and I was talking to them about their new job and their new position, their new title, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And I could see the change in that person. I can see how that person is more serious about what they're doing. They're more professional about their approach. And I'm happy for that person because they always was hard working. They always dedicated themselves to their profession, their craft. And so being rewarded for that hard work, I like to see that. And I'm glad that that person is able to live off their skills on a level of the highest level in that profession. So I'm glad for that as well. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been rewarding catching up with friends and talking to people, not necessarily seeing a lot of people because I'm real cautious about going out and hanging out with people. I got to keep my mask on. I'm not one to drop my guard. I'm constantly in and out of DC, in LA, San Diego, Chicago, Dallas, Miami. And so with me traveling to all these locales, I got to be careful because these are different climates and they have different levels of exposure. So I'm trying to make sure that I get home from wherever I'm at the way I arrived, safe and COVID free. And the way I do that is by not exposing myself or not slacking up on my practices of being safe, putting the mask on, washing my hands, staying out of groups of people. And if I can, do as many video conferences as possible because it's not necessary for me to sit in front of you and say what I got to say to you if I got a camera or a laptop or whatever I got in front of me. I usually use the Surface Pro as my business tool of choice for computing. So I just turn on my Surface Pro and fire it up. I can use my cell phone and fire it up. I mean, we don't have to meet if we don't have to meet, and I prefer not to. But if we do, then you're going to see me with a mask on, and that's a whole fact. I don't care how you feel. Simple as that. That's a whole fact. I have to have a mask on. I don't care. And if that's a problem for you, that's a problem for me. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Kamala Harris. Oh, my dear Kamala Harris. You guys know I like Kamala Harris. I think she's a dynamic politician. I think she's a groundbreaking, history-making woman politician. And I get so tired of hearing people bash her for whatever reason, because a lot of people don't know nothing about her. And then the people that's getting to work with her, that's complaining about working with her, they wouldn't be saying the same shit if she was a man. And then the media wouldn't be reporting it like that if she was a man. And it's unfortunate, but the fact that she's the first of the Mohicans to come through, yeah, she got to have all the hate, she got to have all the hate. As simple as that. She's the first female to ever sit in that seat. So she's going to get every situation thrown at her. She's never going to be good enough for anything because they're not comparing her to anybody else but herself. So for the people that got to work with her and making history with her, they don't even realize the unique position they're in right now and the history they're making as well by being part of that team, the very first female vice president in the history of our country. It is an amazing position to be in, and you need to enjoy it if you have the opportunity and the honor to work with Kamala Harris and support her ever. Now, she might not be the best or the nicest person in the world. And sometimes when you got people that got these high power positions and these precious situations, they don't always get to show you their personality because they got to constantly be on a grind. So sometimes they don't have time to relax. They don't have time to chit chat, and they're looking for somebody to help them the fuck out. And that's what you're there for. Help them the fuck out. You're not there to make friends. You're there to make sure shit keep moving and make it keep moving. And at the end of the day, appreciate the fact that she gave you the opportunity to work in the White House that was making history. Simple as that. If you get caught up in your feelings, then you're in the wrong job anyway. Simple as that. They're in the middle of a major crisis right now with a superpower that's threatening us every day to nuke us. And she needs to support a president that forget if he's even the fucking president in the morning. This bumbling fool can't even have a conversation. I mean, he's like one of those little sand timers when you turn him over and he run out of fuck we gonna say stop it. It's a damn shame watching Joe Biden talk, and the man clearly is declining in health. I mean, yeah, he is. And I hope Kamala Harris gains some type of steam, some type of traction, because I think she's a very smart lady, and I think she's a very brilliant lawyer, and I just wish that she had the support of the party and the American people so they can really appreciate and see how brilliant this young lady is. I'm not going to get caught up in all the things because all these people come from something. They come from some type of background. Now, like I said, I'm an independent, but I'm just proud of her making history as the first female vice president. Me personally, I was hoping that she'd be the first president of the United States, a female. That didn't happen. The party didn't get behind her. The politics wasn't on her side. And they came back and recycled her after they threw her in the trash, because they did more damage than the Republicans did to her once she came out and called Joe Biden out for the racist that he is. You know, they did that. And ever since she did that, the party's been treating her sideways. And that's just what it is. Those are the facts. People can say whatever they want to say, you know, but hey, don't tell me that George Bush was the nicest man in the world. Don't tell me Donald Trump was the nicest man in the world. Don't tell me that Obama was the nicest man in the world. Don't tell me that Bill Clinton was the nicest man in the world. Don't tell me that. So why is she getting this, you know, ass whooping every day in the media about her not being competent or this and that? It just don't make sense at all. It don't make sense at all. She's doing what vice presidents do. Have the president back, help him facilitate his job and whatever the fuck they give him. Yeah, but he put her on a bus a lot of times during the presidency in this short period of time. He threw her under the bus. He threw her under the bus in the immigration. He threw her under the bus when he sent her overseas. He threw her under the bus. All these situations he threw her under the bus. And don't say she wasn't prepared for him, because she did the best she can with the tools she had. It's just what it is. I'm not capping for her. I'm not vouching for her. Did she make some mistakes? Yeah, she makes some gaffes, because when she's nervous, she says stupid shit. But that don't mean she's not a good vice president. So people, we got to just keep it what it is and call it 100 for what it is, you know? That's a fact. Hey, man, I'm getting ready to get out of here, man. I'm just babbling and jabbling and going on. I'm going to catch you guys probably tomorrow night. I got a podcast I was putting together, and I decided tonight I'm going to just go ahead and chop it up with you guys and say what's up to you. If you haven't had a chance lately, let me tell you this. Howard Stern is a radio icon, a legend in radio, a communication maestro, and his contract is winding down. So maybe for the next 2 or 3 years, you actually could also see history being made with Howard Stern. He's going out in the blaze. He's giving some of the best interviews in the industry, and you don't want to miss him. So please, if you have a chance, check out Howard Stern on Sirius Satellite Radio, Howard 100 and Howard 101. I am not sponsored by this guy. I'm just telling you that I appreciate and I admire the work he's doing, and he's been doing for the last 45 plus years, him and Robin and their entire crew. And I'm letting you guys know that if you want to see the going out of a legend at the top of his game, and you want to hear some of the best interviews you ever hear in broadcast history, you want to hear Howard Stern's show Monday through Friday, 7 to probably 10 o'clock in the morning on Howard 101 and Howard 100 on Sirius Satellite Radio. Some amazing interviews, some in-depth, deep dives with some of your top entertainers in the world. And it's just been a pleasure of listening to his career and hearing his shows. But him finally coming to the end of his career, he's at the top of the game. No doubt about it. You really would appreciate hearing him do his thing. And I promise you right now, there's not a better interviewer in the game than Howard Stern. And that is a fact. Howard Stern, Sirius Satellite Radio, Howard 100 and Howard 101. And Howard, you owe me, I don't know. Send me, I don't know. Don't send me nothing, man. Just keep doing them great interviews, man. I appreciate you, your entire team. What's up to my girl Robin from out of Be More? And yeah, it is what it is, man. Nando, thoughts. I'm out of here, guys. Talk to you next time. Peace. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing another Nando Thoughts podcast. Thanks for checking me out, man. You know this is always brought to you by my chick and my kids. My chick and my kids. Also, don't forget, Proper 12, Conor McGregor's Irish whiskey. Let's go.